Give a man a fish, and he will eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he will eat for the rest of his life. Teach a woman how to be happily married, and everyone will eat, sleep, and be merry. It's time for Real Women, their ups and downs, and life confessions here on the Happily Married Wives broadcast.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Happily Married Wives radio broadcast.
Real Women, their ups and downs, and life confessions. I am your host, Lisa Ward.
And I am Lisa White, the host of tonight's show.
So, Lisa, how is it going?
You know what? It has been going great. You know what? I've been a little bit busy trying to fit everything into my schedule, but it has been such an exciting thing that it's almost like great to see God work it all out. And
yes.
It's that Kairos time, that time where you get in that space where only God can do those things, where he can stop time. Because if I could give you a list of everything that I have going on, it would be amazing. Of course, I'm a wife. I'm a mother. My son, even though he's 19, we're working on being an adult. I spend time, of course, and go on date night with my husband. I am about 2 months away from completing my baccalaureate degree in addiction counseling. Yes, I'm doing an internship at the Bethlehem House. So my life has been amazing, including working on my ministry as well and working on a brand new church that we've actually just opened. So it seems like so much. But when God actually put it all together and when he began to work it in his way and when I submit myself to him, it's been so great. How about you? How are things going with you?
Oh, things are going absolutely well. You talk about, us as women, us as happily married women, we wear so many hats. But, because we have, we rely on God who gives us a strength, it's so rewarding, and you talk about, that Kairos moment. That's really what I feel like, God is just doing some amazing things in the lives of his people. I'm truly excited about, what God is doing in your life. I'm excited about what he's doing in my life. I just recently, opened up my first boutique. Saturday made 3 weeks. And I'm just so humbled and so grateful, just to see the promises of God come to pass, to manifest in my life. It's just such an amazing thing, and to have the support, of our husbands with everything that we do. It is just absolutely amazing. I'm truly grateful and humble.
Yes, I do understand that. Without having that support of our husbands and without being in the will of God, it just seems impossible to get everything done that we're getting done.
Absolutely.
My husband has been so supportive, and I know yours has as well. In every little thing that I'm doing, his response is, bring it on, God. What you going to do next, God? He's so to have that type of support as a happily married woman really makes all the difference. It makes you not feel like I should have stayed single.
Right.
Absolutely. The single life is, that's absolutely, and I don't want it. I said, I'm just amazed right where I am.
Right. Absolutely. So, yes, it has just been absolutely amazing. I'm truly excited and so grateful to be a part of this amazing broadcast. Happily Married Wives. It's just been a dream come true for me. And I know you and the other ladies feel the same way.
Oh, yes, it really has. Working with a group of ladies that we've been working with, including everyone that has surrounded us, it almost feels like walls. And it almost feels like the support of everyone there has been so great. It's just amazing just to stand. I am in awe. I'm not surprised. I haven't gotten to the position where my faith is increasing. I'm not surprised, but I'm in awe of what God is doing. I hope that I will never get past the point where I'm not in awe of what God is doing. He's doing a great thing in the lives of his people. I just want to be a
Yes.
part of it. I want to remain humble. I want to have a contrite heart in order that God be able to do something great for his people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So how has business been at the boutique?
Business has been absolutely phenomenal. I tell you, it's been more than what I expected. The first day, when I tell you, I was just in complete awe of the support, that I received from just friends and family and just loved ones. It was just absolutely amazing, because it was birthed forth, in my prayer closet, which is how Cozy Closet came to be. It came to be through me spending time in prayer, and I asked God, one night in my closet, he asked me a very simple question. He said, you're in my presence, how do you feel? And I said, what do you mean, God? And he said, you're in my presence, how do you feel? And I said, I feel cozy, and he said, well, where are you? And I said, what? He said, where are you? I said, I'm in my closet. He said, that's the name of your business, Cozy Closet. And so, everything just has been God inspired. It has been God ordained, and it has just been absolutely amazing. And I tell people often that my boutique is not just my business, but it is also my ministry. It's my opportunity to be able to minister to women, to let them know, that, they're loved. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter about the jewelry you have on. It doesn't matter about the clothing you have on, but it's what's on the inside of you. You know what I mean? It's what's on the inside of you. That's what makes what you have on the outside. That's what makes it dance. That's what makes that necklace dance. It's the pureness and the beauty, and the love and the peace, and the tranquility and just the love of God that you have on the inside of you. That's what exudes on the outside. So, again, I'm just truly humbled and just grateful, just to see, the hand of God move in my life.
Absolutely amazing. So have you got time for a brief commercial that you can tell us a little bit about the boutique and what you sell there? Maybe give us a little bit of address for women that are visiting in the area, that they would know exactly where to come to get that type of feeling.
Absolutely. Yes, we'll do that. And we'll just talk a little bit more about, because I think our theme is, we're talking about support, and I think that's very important, especially from a marital perspective. So, yes, we'll take a commercial break and let's dive into that.
Oh, that would be great. Yes, that support has been great. Now, you said that you were out to dinner before with your pastor. What about the spiritual support? What about the support of your church and the support of other people? Has that been, have you had that there? Is it right there? Can you feel it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I tell you, it's been amazing. It has been amazing. Just the pushing, just the inspiration, I call my pastors, they're my midwives, so they've definitely, been pushing me. So really, really excited about that. So yes, it's been wonderful.
Oh, that is so great. Now, children, do you have any children?
Yes, I have a daughter. She's 19.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And what is her take on, as far as her support, as far as not just with the Cozy Closet, but also with your ministry?
Oh, when I tell you she's absolutely amazing, I believe in, teaching our children the importance of being independent. And I truly believe that it's also important to leave behind a legacy. A lot of people these days, they are trying to build an empire. I'm not trying to build an empire because empires fall. I'm trying to leave a legacy behind for my children. And so just really teaching her major is business, so really, teaching her, what it takes to be an entrepreneur, doing things God's way, doing things with a spirit of excellence. And I think it goes back to servitude as well. So she's doing absolutely phenomenal. I showed her the ropes, and she just took it. I mean, she took it by storm. She's a sales associate there, and she's just doing a phenomenal job.
Oh, excellent, excellent. It is wonderful to have the support of everyone around you, as we've been talking about, and to guide us. Now, if we can go a little bit further past just some of the support and talk about 5 years from now, will there be more cozy closets? Will there be anything else additionally going on?
Absolutely. You know, that is truly, you know, one of my goals is to have more cozy closet locations throughout the United States and in other countries. I believe that it will definitely be a blessing to other women, and that is definitely my goal.
Wow, that is just such an amazing thing. We want to actually talk a little bit about the purpose of tonight's show and some of the things that we're getting together to do as women to be able to empower women at this particular time. How do you think that this show, what do you think the listening audience is, and what do you think some of the women, how they would feel about Happily Married Wives?
You know, I think this show, because again, you know, we're talking about real women, their ups and downs in life confessions. You know, I think that this radio broadcast is going to bring transparency. You know, it is going to open up things that a lot of women and a lot of people may consider as taboo, because I believe when we can get to a place where we can be transparent, I think that opens up an opportunity for, you know, for there to be enlightenment and for healing to take place. Because the truth of the matter is, you know, we all go through things in life, you know, and I truly believe that, you know, the things that we go through are not just for us, but it's for that young woman that's coming, that just got married, that doesn't understand what it means to be a support to their husband, that may not understand what it means to submit to their husband. As the Bible says, you know, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, and wives, submit yourselves, you know, to your husband. So, you know, those types of things. So I think that this radio broadcast, you know, Happily Married Wives, is going to bring about healing. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to transform lives. I think it's going to help women, you know, be better wives, be better mothers, be better entrepreneurs, because we wear many hats. So I'm really excited about it. I really am.
Okay, great deal. Now, can I ask $1 million question?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is $1 million question. What makes you a happily married wife?
What makes me a happily married wife is, first of all, going through my process of being groomed. What do I mean? What do I mean by that is, even before my first marriage, this is my second marriage. I was married before, and there was a lot of things that, you know, I encountered in my first marriage, and a lot of those things where I was hurt, you know, I had a very tough marriage, and unfortunately I brought some of those things into my current marriage, and God was able to really heal me in a lot of places, and through that, you know, God really taught me how to love my husband. But he first had to teach me, you know, what love really is, because I didn't know love. You know what I mean? And so God showing me how to love through him showing me himself really taught me, you know, how to love my husband. And just through that, I mean, I could go on and on and on, but just that by itself, you know, God being in the midst and really coming into my life at a point in my life where I was about to totally destroy my marriage, God turned it around. And he did a marvelous work in my marriage. And that's what makes my marriage that's what makes me a happily married wife.
You know, and I might have to pull out my checkbook. I might have to pull out my checkbook for that answer. And I know due $1 million.
Yes, and I know, and the thing about it is, Lisa, is that I know that God sent him to me. You know what I mean? When you know when you have that time and that moment in your life when you know that 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 it's God. That's it. That's it. When you know that you know, and so that's what makes me a happily married wife, because God had to he took me through a process. You know what I mean? And even in that process, when I came out, I found myself knowing how to love, and I love God showed me how to love my husband in a way that I never thought that it would be possible. That's what makes me a happily married wife.
Amen. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but please stay tuned. We have a segment. My segment is titled, I Don't Need to Control Him. And Lisa, your segment?
My segment is how to submit to your husband. But I want to hear, when we come back, I want to hear more. I want to hear something. I want to get into your headspace, Lisa.
Oh, yes, no problem. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is rockstar entrepreneur and international business consultant Erica A. Murray. Tune in to Simone Elbow, host of Ready for Change Radio on the May We Help You Radio Broadcast Network. She has the strategies to move you from stuck to successful. And if I were you, I wouldn't dare miss it.
If you're the parent of a child with behavioral challenges that has been suspended, expelled, or just not able to make it in a traditional school setting, there is an alternative. Call the Metropolitan Day School today. Licensed and accredited grades K through 12. Call 804-321-2595. Financial assistance and after-school programs are available. Let's turn this school year around right now at the Metropolitan Day School, where Eagles soar. Call Miss Thomas today. 804-321-2595.
Hi, I'm Rita Ricks, host of Spirit Journeys Radio, inviting you to our third annual Burn on December 27th from 4 to 6 o'clock p.m. We'll work together to determine what person, place, or thing you must leave behind in 2015. You'll write your choices on a piece of paper and drop them in the fire so that you can enter the new year brand new. The cost is $10, and you can register at www.speaktoyourspirit.com. See you on December 27th.
Welcome back to Happily Married Wives Radio Show. I am your host, Lisa Ward.
And I'm Lisa White. We're so glad that you're back with us.
Absolutely. Listen, before we went to commercial break, we really just, we got into some heavy stuff. Lisa, we talked a little bit. You asked me about, what that $1 million question, what made me, a happily married wife. But let's talk a little bit about, let's talk a little bit about you. Talk to us tonight a little bit about your segment, because I think it is so powerful.
It was so powerful that. Have you ever written something and know you can only write this in the spirit? You can't write it in the flesh?
Yes.
I would begin devotion early before I begin writing, because I believe in any ministry that it is a transformation first for you. First, the word is for you. When you always hear somebody say, I got a revelation, and they promise you that it's for you, you have to understand first that revelation is for you. You cannot be hearers and not doers of the word. So when I heard that word, it was first for me. And it was piercing. It was striking just to see some of the things and my portion of it. I believe you can never be set free until you admit your portion of what's going on. So I had to admit my portion of what was going on in this whole triangle before I could speak to anybody else. So God spoke to me every morning, and he told me what to write, and I wrote it.
Well, Lisa, let me ask you this: what was your aha moment? What was your breaking point? What was it that drove you to that moment?
I think the thing that drove me to that moment, and I actually wrote about it, it was when I realized that my misery, the very thing that was causing me to be miserable, the very thing that was causing me to be run down and tired, the very thing that caused me not to be in control of my emotions was now my ministry.
Wow.
God called me. He wanted me to talk to other women about these things, about being in control of yourself before you could ever begin to think about, which you really should never do, is try to control anybody else. You just need to control you. The gift is called, the fruit of the Spirit is called self-control.
Yes, yes.
So I realized I needed to control me, not the situation and not anybody else.
Right.
Yes.
Well, Lisa, you tell me, was it because it was a a time in your life where you were going through, obviously you were going through, through a process, and I know that as women, especially, women who, we're independent, you know what I mean? Tell me, how did it change your view in just your marriage, or did it change other aspects of your life?
Oh, it changed my view as a woman, as far as
wow.
any relationship. So it wasn't about just my relationship with my husband. It was about every relationship, even my relationship with God, of how I view him and what I should expect out of him. It changed every area of my life, how I viewed and see things. I said it was that moment where you know that the ultimate life change is to go ahead and present your body as a living sacrifice, and to also change your mindset. So my whole mindset needed to change in order for me to get anywhere. But through that time when I thought I was, spinning and doing things, I thought that I had the upper hand until I realized I was on the bottom. I was like a spider or a really fly caught in a spider's web. And the more I twist and turn, the more caught up I was. And God let me see an image of me caught in a spider web, trying to make things work out the way that I want to. I have learned, even because I also facilitate an anger management class, that there are 3 reasons why we become angry. The number 1 reason is because we don't get what we want. The second reason is because we don't feel comfortable in our own skin. Wow. And the third reason is because we can't deal with reality. So I'm looking at all 3 staring at me. Not one. I had all 3 looking at me, all 3 of the reasons why we become angry, staring at me. And I knew then something had to change. Something had to break. And I thank God for that breaking and that changing. It's made me a new person, not just I'm a better sister, I'm a better mother, I'm a better friend, and I communicate better with God. I no longer carry the spirit of entitlement of what he can do for me. His promises hold for me, so I no longer feel like, God, you said it and I'm entitled to it. You got to give it to me. No, that's not the way it works. All his promises say, if you, I will. That means I got to do something, then he going to do something. And usually his something is great. It's much bigger than what I could ever do.
Yes, yes. So, Lisa, let me ask you this. What would you say to that woman that right now is in that place that you were in? What would you say?
I would say surrender, Dorothy. That's what I would say.
Wow.
Surrender. And people don't really realize what that word means. They think surrender means give up. No, it doesn't. Surrender means bring your whole body, your soul, your mind, everything into submission to God's will. That means you're changing. Bring your heart. Bring everything into submission. That's what a complete surrender is. Saying that, God, I really don't, if you don't make this work, I'm still going to be the same. I just want to be better. This is about yourself. It's not about other people. It's what you need to do for God. The I is kind of taken out of it. And you're willing to do, when they say an humble and a contrite heart, that contrite heart is willing to do whatever they need to do in order to get it right.
That's good. That's good. So what would you say to that woman that says, I feel like if I relinquish, control, if I, this submit and surrender and all this kind of stuff, that, I am, giving up who I am. What would you say to that individual who may feel like, that they're going to lose who they are if they submit and, surrender and relinquish control?
No, you will never lose who you are when you follow God. When
Amen.
He speaks of to yoke yourself up with Him and unequally yoke. When you yoke yourself up, when you have two oxen, they're yoked up together in order that one would lead while they're pulling and plowing. But if you yoke yourself up with Him, you have to go in the direction that He's going. Woe to that poor oxen that used to be in the field that would go the opposite way of the lead oxen. They would end up with a sore and a bruise up under there because the yoke is actually like a leather strap that goes around you. So you can't go in a different direction. You need to go forward. And anytime you try to move into another direction to do another thing, you end up with bruised. You end up messed up. So straight and narrow is that path. Straight and narrow is that path. You just have to stay focused. It is not my will. His thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. So we have to get rid of every thought pattern that we have. And sometimes the longer as it is, and you're talking about generational curses, the harder it is. But you can do anything when you ask God, when you invite the Holy Spirit in. Invite them into it. Invite the Holy Spirit in to go ahead and change things for you, and they'll do it all. God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit will do it all for you if you would only just simply submit. And it won't be as hard. He might not change your situation, but He will change you.
That's good.
Yeah, I am so excited.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you said that you teach a anger management class?
I do every Wednesday, and the majority of my clients are court ordered. I mean, could you imagine having to be court ordered to go to an anger management, 12 weeks of anger management, where they're teaching you not to, it's not about not being angry. It's an emotion, and we all become angry, but how to cope with your anger. So a lot of the clients, of course, half of them say that they're not angry and they don't know how they got there. And then the other half say that they're angry, but then they come with excuses. So you have to really listen very closely. You have to be, I'm just so happy that I have God in my life to what He's speaking to and saying in order to tear down the wall for the clients that you speak to, because number one, they find as if you don't know what you're talking about because you've never been in a situation. If you've never done drugs, if you've never been arrested, if you've never been on house arrest, you are the last person that they want to ever talk to. So God, how do I break down these barriers to a place that I've never been? How do I tear down a wall to a place I've never been? How do I work myself through a maze? So you have to be very, very quiet And you're doing more listening than you are talking, because you want that way in. God's getting ready to show you how to get in so that you would be able to speak to that person as an equal instead of a superior. And it's amazing. It's amazing.
Wow. 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 So I'm sure that, you being a part of that, I'm sure that that's helped in your own personal relationship, and including your own marriage, right?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Everything that I have learned, and to be honest with you, disclosure is up to you.
Right.
But I have never, with my class, it took me a while to disclose to them that I didn't even realize that this was a setup for me. That as a teenager,
Wow.
I grew up extremely angry. And some of the things that they had done, I should have and could have went to jail for. But it was for not God's grace and his mercy. An incident I remember being with my son. He was young. We had stopped at a Target, and a guy was trying to park in a space next to me, and I was trying to get my son out of the car. So he began cursing and swearing at me and cursing and swearing at me. So I didn't say anything to him because I was just so shocked. But I waited until he went to the store, and I took my key and keyed his brand new car.
Wow.
Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. I could have gone to jail for that. I could have ended up in the same place that they were. But it was for God's grace and mercy. But he showed me that same incident, even though it's been over 25 years ago. He showed me that incident when I saw them so that I would have compassion for them. So I'm definitely coming into this, yes, with a great deal of compassion. So it took me a while because sometimes you're kind of waiting for that cohesiveness to come in before you disclose, or, at the right time, or you're going to lose them. So it's a lot of timing. It's a lot of compassion. It's a lot of love, and it's a wonderful. I absolutely love it. And when class is over, they're ready for more, and they're hugging me at the end of the class. This person that's never been to jail, that's never taken drugs, they love me because I'm honest with them, and I tell them exactly how I feel. But it's hard to get in, and that's exactly. You have to listen to God, and you have to have the love of God in order to speak in this situation, because they're not ready to let anybody in that hasn't been through the same thing that they have. So it's awesome.
Wow. That's amazing. And isn't it amazing how God will allow us to go through, certain things in our life, so that we can be, a blessing and a living testament to others, because you're talking about, teaching this anger management class, and, a lot of that ties into what, we were talking about earlier about control. You know what I mean? Because, you have to have control. You have to gain control over your emotions, and, and not act upon those things. So, how is it? How does that tie in with you? Because I know it has to be a blessing to those people, because God really taught you about, the control piece, and now you're teaching this anger management class. How has that really allowed you to be able to minister and assist these people effectively, even in this anger management class?
Oh, it definitely has allowed me to, because the next part of basically talking about anger, we talked a little bit about the cohesiveness, and we talked about those different things, but to really talk about conflict resolution. So conflict resolution actually allows you to have different style of coping skills. So it's okay that you become angry, but how are you going to deal with it?
And how does that anger management class help women and their husbands? Because we're talking about, we're happily married wives. So how does that? And I'm pretty sure that you have, men and women who are married in your classes, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It helps the women out that I have that are married is because when they become angry, it really is all about your coping skills. You don't come into the house and you don't demand things. You don't, say you. You come ready for reconciliation. There can be no conflict, resolution without that conflict. So you have to understand what conflict is. So what is conflict? Conflict is not retaliation. Conflict comes to the table ready for reconciliation. So this is how most of the ladies that I've spoke to, they have to understand, I'm coming to the table not to retaliate, not to be angry, not to blame, because blaming is fleshy. You're coming to the table for reconciliation. And that's what makes it great.
Yes,
it does.
Awesome. That is awesome. And I know that has to be, a blessing to, to husbands and wives, because reconciliation is an amazing thing. It really is.
It is. It is. I said, even when I think of reconciliation, I think of when it says God's mercies are brand new every morning.
Yes.
Even He will wipe your slate clean. His mercies start out different every day. Every day He says, okay, I know what you did yesterday. You repented. I forgive you for that. Today is a brand new day. So if we could only come into our marriages in that same way, and even any of our relationships and friendships, and say, okay, we got that settled down. That was yesterday. Today is a new day. So that makes it really wonderful. Yeah, that makes it wonderful. Yes, it is. It's amazing. I said it just really is a mindset change to do something different. So I thank God for that. I thank Him for a new mind.
Wow. Wow. I'm telling you, you're talking about, you passed the offering plate. I need to pass the offering plate. That's amazing. It really is because, I think that it's important, to be able to, to have, effective dialogue. And a lot of times it's difficult to do that when you are, as husbands and wives, when we are, caught up in our feelings and caught up in our emotions and things of that nature. So, you being able to be a blessing to husbands and wives, you know what I'm saying? In your anger management classes, I know that really has to be, a blessing, to marriages, I think that is great. Wow.
Yes, it has been amazing. I know we're so excited and we've been going so great, but I know we have to really take a quick commercial break just so that we can pay the bills. And then when we come back, yes, we're going to continue to talk a little bit more. I know everyone wants to hear the end of that. We're going to talk a little bit more on what's going on with Lisa and Lisa.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for my segment entitled Submission. And so don't go away. Stay where you are. We'll be right back.
The Queen Esther Radio Show is live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me, Jessica Taylor,
and me, Jason Mosley, to be entertained by authors, artists, and spiritual leaders.
We look forward to being a blessing in your life every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Only on the MWHY Radio Network.
Hi, this is Simone Bowe of Life Success Principles in Nassau, Bahamas, and I listen to the Ultimate International Business Experience radio show on iHeartRadio. And you should too.
Hi, this is Sylvester Green of Building United Communities here in London, England, and I listen to the Ultimate International Business Experience radio show on iHeartRadio. And you should too.
If you were designing the perfect dating site, what would you include? A private voice or video chat room? A private photo gallery and profile area? How about matches based on similar interests? And to keep it special, you could add profile blocking, no third-party intervention, spam protection, and even monthly drawings for great prizes, and more. That's exactly what you'll find at milesapart.dating. Visit milesapart.dating today and get a free 1-year membership while they last. That's milesapart.dating.
Brought to you by
on the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on May We Help You Radio Network.
So on the May We Help You Radio Network.
MWHY Radio Network.
May We Help You Radio.
On the May We Help You Radio Network.
Only on the May We Help You Radio Broadcast Network, the network that helps you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Happily Married Wives Radio Broadcast. Yes, I am your host, Lisa Ward.
And I am Lisa White.
So, Lisa, we just got finished talking about, before we went to commercial break, we were having an amazing conversation about, control and, and these types of things. I mean, it was just, that really blessed me, and I'm just so grateful, for even the things that, we go through in life, because a lot of times we may not understand what we're going through, but God understands, you know what I mean? He knows, He knew the end of the thing before the beginning of the thing, and it's just so wonderful to see that, even the things that we've gone through, God allowed us to come out of it and to be a blessing to somebody else.
Oh, yes, yes. I want to talk really briefly, if we can. We talked a little bit about my segment. Can we talk a little bit about your section of the book? And we don't want to go into deep details about it, but I just want to hear a little bit. Let's see if you can feed into it just a little bit and, cause us to really wonder what's going to happen next. So if you can do a little bit about that, explaining what your chapter was about.
Absolutely. I talked about, submission for me, and even control. I mean, it encompasses so many things. But, I went through a very difficult period, in my transition after my first marriage and going into my second marriage. And it's so it's ironic, you talked about control, because that was really one of the things that I struggled with. I struggled with relinquishing, or not really relinquishing, but I struggled with allowing my husband to be the husband, because, I wanted to be in control of everything, I wanted to be in control of, paying the bills. I wanted to be in control of planning trips. I wanted to be in control of where we went and how long we stayed, and you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. And what I in my mouth, I mean, I have to be honest. My mouth was a knife. And one of the things that my mother used to tell me all the time when I was a little girl, and I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. She used to tell me all the time, Lisa, don't let your mouth be your ruin. Wow. She used to say that to me all the time as a little girl. And we all have, our mothers and fathers have said things to us as children. And when we became adults, we said, okay, now I know why Mama said that. I know why Dad said that. You know what I mean? And one of my things was I just had a very foul mouth. I mean, I wasn't his wife. I was his knife.
Wow. Amazing.
So I did everything to tear my husband down with my mouth. And a lot of it came from the disappointment and the failures and the hurt and the pain that I experienced in my first marriage. I brought it into my second marriage, and I made my husband pay for it. You know, I took it out on him when he didn't deserve it. All he wanted to do was love me. And so, you know, I would tear him down with my mouth because I wanted to be in control of everything. I did not respect him as my husband. And what began to happen was I began to see a man who pursued me, because the Bible says that he that findeth a wife, come on, findeth a good thing. He pursued me. He found me. You know what I mean? And he loved me. He respected me. You know, he opened doors for me. He never raised a hand to me. You know, he treated me like a queen. But I wasn't used to that because I was so consumed with, you know, all of the hurt and the pain and, you know, the disappointment and, you know, just being dolled, you know, in my previous relationship, that I was expecting for him to do the same thing. And all he wanted to do was love me.
Wow, amazing, amazing. And you know what, I noticed that a lot of times that was difficult for me because I didn't marry until I was 40. So everything I had into control, and I paid the bills and I took care of everything, so that when he came along, and I understand him finding you, I couldn't fathom giving somebody else the reins. I had figured things out. I was in control of everything, and I was 40 years old by then, and it was just difficult for me to release that control to somebody else.
Right. And that's where I was, you know, and so, you know, the breaking point, you know, God really had to teach me. I'm telling you. I mean, God really took me through a process of learning how to submit to my husband, because what ended up happening was, you know, because I verbally abused him, you know, if I thought it came out. I didn't have a filter. And what I was doing was I was slowly tearing him down as a man and as my husband. You know, that's what I was doing. And I slowly began to see this man that I love, you know, he began to slowly, you know, push away from me, you know. And God opened my eyes. One night I was laying on the couch, and God gave me this vision, and all I saw was my husband's truck running into a tree and exploding. You know, because I was one of those types of women, you know, I told him what to do. I told him what to wear, you know, the control, you know, and I didn't know how to submit as a wife. I didn't want to submit as a wife. You know, it was like, you know, you don't tell me what to do. You're my husband, but you don't tell me what to do. You know, it was that type thing, and it was killing my husband. It was killing him mentally, spiritually, psychologically, physically, emotionally. I was his knife and not his wife. And one night I was laying on the couch, sitting on the couch, and God showed me a vision of my husband's truck running into a tree and exploding. And I say, God, I don't know what this is that you're showing me. You know, I don't know what this is, but it shook me to my core. 3 weeks later, my husband and I got into a very emotional argument. We got into a very heavy disagreement. And one of the things he said to me, it changed my life forever. It was that was the breaking point for me. He said to me, he said, Lisa, he said, you know what? He said, sometimes when I'm leaving my sister's house on my way back home, I feel like running off the road and running into a tree and killing myself.
Wow, amazing.
Mind you, God had just showed me, had just showed me the vision 3 weeks prior. And it was in that moment. It was at that very moment where God says, now will you submit yourself to me and allow me to heal you in those places where you hurt.
Yeah.
Because look what you have done to your husband. Because you won't submit. Because you won't relinquish control. Because you carry all of this hurt and this excess baggage into this marriage, and I gave him to you. You know what I mean? And it was in that moment where it was not about him anymore. It was about Lisa. It was about me. And it was in that moment where God allowed, where I had to submit. I said, okay, God, I felt as if I had committed murder.
Absolutely amazing.
I felt like I had committed murder as a wife. And it was in that moment God began to deal with me. And he began to deal with my heart. And he began to heal all of those areas that I was hurting, all of those things that happened in my previous relationships and my previous marriage. And he began to heal me. And he taught me how to submit to him. And in the process, he taught me how to submit to my husband. God showed me what love was. He showed me his love, and that's what allowed me to be able to see the love that my husband was just trying to give to me. You know what I mean? And it was the most memorable, life-changing moment in my marriage that I will never forget.
Wow.
And my message to any wife, submit to your husband, because, I found the submitting mean, giving up what you, giving up who you are, like you said earlier. Absolutely not. But you got to understand, you're his wife. You're not his knight.
Wow. Absolutely amazing words, and what a great turnaround. What a great thing that God has done for you. Now, I know that there's going to be plenty of ladies that are going to want to connect with you and connect with what you're doing. Please tell me, how can they reach you outside of the radio show?
Well, outside of the radio show, of course, I am on social media. I can be reached on Facebook at Lisa Ward. I also am actually getting ready to launch a new website called LisaWardInspires.com. I can be reached there as well. And I'm just truly excited about. I'm just excited about what God is doing with Happily Married Wives. We have a Facebook page, Happily Married Wives. We can be reached on there as well.
Yes, we have several ways. We also have a website, www.happilymarriedwives.com. Again,
yes.
www.happilymarriedwives.com. Leave us a message. Check us out weekly on my Y Radio and let us know what you think about us. If you want to reach me personally, you can reach me at lmwhite7034@prodigy.net. So I'll be available for you then. So we just want to kind of go over everything, and we want to inspire every wife that comes on the line. We want to inspire those would-be wives so that you won't have to fall into the traps that the enemy has ahead of time. So we want to be able to be there for you as well. We want to be there for those wives that have been abused, for those wives that have been mistrusted, for those wives that want to gain something great. So our audience is for every woman. It is for every woman in every area. Don't you think so, Lisa?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. As you stated, we wear, as wives, we wear so many hats. We're mothers, we're daughters, we are entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? We're in ministry. We have careers. We're in school. We have so many things, and it's such a blessing to be able to have this kind of social or radio outlet to be able to inspire women and talk about real issues and life confessions, that we encounter and that we go through as wives and as women. I think it is absolutely amazing.
Yes, it is amazing. I said the first thing the enemy wants to do is always isolate you. So if we're able to talk to each other, we can understand and see that this woman has either been through this, she's going through it, or she's getting ready to go through there. So that she's been prepared.
Exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that she's prepared for what she has to face. And then we have to understand when it's our turn to be quiet and work on us. First examine ourselves and see the things that we could possibly be wrong. So we are women that are willing to admit our faults in the whole situation with everything. We're willing to say, I did this wrong. Now God has taught me how to do it better so that I can have a greater marriage.
Absolutely.
I thank him for that.
Absolutely. And I don't think that there's one, right, and I don't think that there's one married woman out there that, we all have been through something, and I don't want a married a wife out there to think that they're the only one that's going through a situation. You know what I mean? Because there's somebody out there that may be going through something very similar or has gone through something. As you stated, we're either getting ready to go into something, we're going through something, or we're coming out of something. You know what I mean? But I truly believe that, I just want, every woman out there, married woman, you're not alone. You are not alone in this. And if I can get through it, let me tell you, if I can get through, God has brought me out of some things.
Amazing.
God has truly brought me out of some things. And if God did it for me, he is no respecter of person. He can do it for you.
Yes, indeed. And we're here for you to help answer your questions. We cannot say that we have the answer to everything, but we do and are women who know how to pray. Yes. We know how to go into our secret closets. We come out of our war rooms looking like lions instead of fighting like cats. We have learned how to change this whole thing around and put God at the forefront of everything so that we come out of this victorious. And we're looking for a victorious outcome for you as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think. And as you said, we are some praying women. We are some prayer warriors. We know how to get together, and I'm telling you, we know how to get a prayer through.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The Word of God says the prayers of the righteous availeth much. So we don't mind tarrying. We don't mind tarrying. We don't mind seeking God. We don't mind being on our face before God so that we can help you not just, with our situations. We're not interested in that, but we're interested in helping you with your situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, this has been amazing. I thank you so very much, Lisa, for spending the time with me. It seems like we haven't been separated. It's been a couple of months since I've seen you, but it's just like there was a bonding there that was so great and so amazing. So I am so happy that I was chosen to do this segment with you.
Absolutely. What awesome segments, talking about, control and, and submission and, as wives. I mean, it has just been, it's just been amazing. I've truly been blessed by, our dialogue and discourse on tonight on this Happily Married Wife radio broadcast, and it has just been amazing. I want to say thank you to everyone for listening in tonight. Tune in next week. We have more Happily Married Wives that are going to be on this amazing radio broadcast. And I'm excited. I really am. I'm truly excited.
Yes, and please send us a message and tell us what makes you a happily married wife. We're interested in hearing those things. We have not turned off being teachable. We are still teachable, even though we feel triumphant in what God has done us. Please submit your information and let us know how you became a happily married wife.
Yes, we would love that. We would love that. So it's been an amazing night.
Yes. Yes, it has. Thank you so much, Lisa. It's been wonderful. Until we get together again, it's Lisa.
Yes, thank you all so much for tuning in. You all have a good night.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Happily Married Wives radio broadcast. I know that Lisa Ward and Lisa White has poured some new life into your marriage this evening. Stay tuned for next week where you'll be able to learn from Lady Nakia Johnson and Tomiko Jenkins. I can't wait to hear what they have to say. I know you can't either. So, until next week, visit us online at happilymarriedwives.com. Leave us a message so that we know that you're enjoying the show. Want to talk to one of the ladies? Again, just leave us a message at happilymarriedwives.com. We'll get back to you. Want us to talk about a topic on air? Again, let us know. We're also on Facebook, so we can't wait to connect and share with you.